So today's video is yet another one of my little videos that kind of makes you think a little bit about your life, about your choices, about how many guys you've kissed. You know, the works. So the first order of business is me discussing my favorite day of the week, which is Sunday. Find me on a Sunday and I'm in a perfect mood until about like 5 p.m. when the scaries set in and I realize that I have a whole other week to get through before the next Sunday. But Sunday is by far my favorite day of the week for a number of reasons. You can sleep in until about 11:30, 12 and no one can judge you. Like absolutely no one can judge you because it's Sunday. Even God says Sunday is the day of rest. It's the day that we can kick back, run a hand through our hair that probably still has some vodka in it from the night before. It's a day for bottomless mimosas, gossiping over avocado toast with your girlfriends, wearing sunglasses inside. It's a day for many things. But first and foremost, it is a day for the Sunday Times. And namely one section in particular is what truly tickles my fancy, and that is the vows section. Exhibit A. So about a week ago, I was in bed with some of my friends. Not like that, I'm not into threesomes. It was after the Sunday scaries had well set in and we were all laying in bed reading the Times. I kind of forced my friends to read it with me, so I'm not reading it alone because it's kind of sad. Especially with titles like, "Don't Fall in Love with Me," she said. He didn't listen. I need moral support for that. And quite naturally, we got into the topic of our futures and our future spouses, our future wedding dresses, the cake. We all get into the topic of our future lives and like how we want our futures to be and what kind of, this, that, and the other that we want for ourselves, like what we want for our lives. And after reading these little sections, not more than 100 or 150 words about how these people met, how these people fell in love, it gets me to thinking, like why do I accept any less than magic in my relationships and in my life? I feel like we all have kind of a rough picture in our minds, stored way back in the back of our minds, a rough picture of what we want our lives to look like, what type of life we see for ourselves, what type of goals we have, what type of things that we want. And it's beautiful, laying in bed at night, just thinking and like dreaming, if you will, about what we want our lives to look like. And I think it's perfectly natural and kind of essential that we do these things. And we let our minds wander and think about, what if, or like, what if our lives were as magical as we want them to be? I was on Instagram the other day, a few weeks ago, I saw this quote from one of my favorite poets on Instagram, R.H. Sin, and the quote said, "What we claim we want rarely matches up with what we allow or accept." I'm gonna repeat that one more time because it's so damn relatable. You really need to get a hold on it or else you're not gonna grasp the full meaning. What we claim we want rarely matches up with what we allow or accept. Damn. I want a significant other that makes me laugh, that makes me feel empowered on a daily basis. I want an oval cut ring on a gold band. I want a fall wedding with red bridesmaids dresses, all different styles because I think that's dope. Among other things. Like I have all these things that I can see myself wanting. And then I do stupid stuff. I accept things that I don't want. It's almost like deep down we all know, like all of us know what we want and what we deserve to a certain extent. But we accept things that we don't deserve and that we don't want because it's just easier to do it that way. It's alarming to think about how many people I know, myself included, that have ever felt stuck. Stuck with an emotionally abusive boyfriend, stuck with a body that I'm not happy with, stuck with friends that don't treat me well. So take a toxic relationship, a cheating boyfriend. I get so furious with my friends who've been cheated on, who refuse to break up with their boyfriends because I feel like, well, break up with him. Like, you're not happy with him, he cheated on you, break up with him. When my friend stays with the cheating boyfriend, I always get really upset with them and I think, how can you do that? Like, how do you not have enough respect for yourself to walk away from someone like that, from a cheater? But maybe it's not their stupidity that makes them stay with their boyfriend. It's their optimism. They think that maybe if they stay, something will get better and the boyfriend will stop cheating, the boyfriend will love them again and only choose them. The reason why we can't let go of people sometimes is because in some small part of our being, we still feel hope. Maybe if I stay, things will get better. When I'm having a bad day, when I'm having just a downright horrific, horrendous day, the one thing that gets me through it is thinking that someday down the line, I'm gonna be so happy in whatever situation I'm in. I'm gonna wake up, hearing the roaring sound of the city underneath my apartment in Soho, my perfect, loft apartment that every girl wants. Opening sleepy eyes to see, my beautiful, amazing, significant other that I love so much, getting ready for a job that I am so excited about every single day. Like, that is ideal for me. That is what I want. And that is what truly makes me happy to think about that I might have that someday. As of late, a lot of you guys have been getting kind of pissed at me, at least in the comment section what I've seen. You've been pissed at me for contradicting myself. you know, going back on what I've said in the past and kind of, you know, disagreeing with my past self and making new opinions. One of those things is the aspect or the idea of one-night stands, casual hookups, etc. And I will say this is kind of touchy territory because a lot of people have so many different opinions on one-night stands and hooking up, and that is so natural because we're not all the same people. We're not all cut from the same cloth. Some people could get married from a one-night stand, or some people it could break them and hurt them really, really bad, and it just is so different for every person. I recently made this blog post called Some Pretty Fucked Up Deja Vu. It's definitely by far one of my favorite blog posts that I've ever created because it really does come from a very vulnerable part of me, a very vulnerable pit in my stomach that I've had for the longest time about one particular one-night stand that really got me thinking. The reason why I hook up casually, meaning I hook up with guys that I'm not in a relationship with, and that, you know, sometimes I had only known them for a few days or a few weeks or, you know, a few hours, isn't because I think I'm gonna meet my husband that way or it's gonna be a part of my how I met my husband story. It's because I, like a lot of humans, have this craving, this desire to just be held, to feel something. And, you know, as shallow as it sounds, to be able to tell my friends, to be able to, you know, brag about it a little bit, because all of us fucking do it, whether we'd like to admit it or not, we do it. It makes us feel whole. And I know it sounds horrible when I'm saying it, but I'm just saying the things that we're all thinking. I don't have one-night stands often. I don't do casual hookups all the time, every weekend, every day of my life. But when I do, it's because I just want to feel something, okay? And it sounds horrible. I'm gonna meet Prince Charming someday, but that day is just not today. I don't want you guys to pity me. I just want you to hear my words. And perhaps some of you might think, holy shit, I do the same thing. Like, I know what I want and deserve. Like, I'm not a perfect person, okay? I'm not perfect. And I'm all about female empowerment. You know, be the Samantha Jones of Sex and the City. It's all just so intoxicating. The feeling of finally getting it right. Sometimes, you know, in the day, in the night, whenever, you know, I look into a guy's eyes and I think, wow, maybe I've finally gotten it right. All of us want to feel that. In any element of our lives, all of us, we all just want to feel that. And when we finally, you know, think we're getting it, think we finally met the guy, we become obsessive. We just want to hold on to that for as long as we possibly can, even if it means hooking up with the wrong guy. Because we have that hope, that optimism. We're not stupid, we're just optimistic. I know the truth. I know that looking for fulfillment outside of myself, outside of my being, looking to love someone else before I can even love myself, looking for that fulfillment outside of me, just ends up in heartbreak, ends up in sadness, ends up in self-hatred. It always ends. So then why is it so hard for us to grasp this? Why is it so hard for us to walk away and say no and not do the things that constantly hurt us? It's that feeling of arms holding you, for me at least, the intimacy, the photos on Facebook, the friends asking, how was it? You know, what's his name? Like, what's he do for a living? Whatever. You know, all of that mashed into one. That is why we do it. And that sliver of hope that we still feel that we might have finally gotten it right. It is a feeling so intoxicating that we can't see straight. I am a smart girl. I am a smart cookie. I know my shit. Yet it drives me insane. This feeling that I want so badly. I so badly want to feel like I've gotten it right. It's the feeling of looking at your bank statement and seeing you have enough money to buy a round of margaritas and not go hungry. Zipping up those pants you haven't been able to zip up in years, acing that test that you thought you were gonna fail. It's that feeling. I know in my heart, I know in my soul that I need to distract myself from this feeling, get myself out of these situations, not put up with all this shit that I put up with, but it's just so hard. You know, that's just what happens. You let people in, and whether they know it or not, they take something from you. They destroy you. You know, that 1 ounce sliver of hope you had that you finally gotten it right dissipates as quickly as it came, as quickly as it arrived, and replaces itself with this feeling of failure. I stride confidently into these situations knowing exactly what's going to happen, but still doing it willingly, still dangling exactly what I know these boys want in front of their faces, and still having the audacity to hope that they won't burn me, that they won't just take what they want and leave. This is not one of those videos where I have all of these solutions, these solutions to get ourselves cleanly and quickly out of the situation, out of the feeling, completely solve all of your problems, all of my problems. I don't have that answer for you. But I do have one remedy that I have come to adopt when I'm in these situations, because let's be real, we fuck up all the time. Here's the remedy that I have. Let it hurt, okay? Let it out, let it hurt, and then let it go. Take a shower, wash your sheets, go for a run, and someday you won't have to do that whole routine. Someday you won't have to do all that. But someday is not today. Someday you will get it right. Someday you will. So yeah, that's it for this video. Props to me for not shedding any tears during this, because believe me, this is a very hard-hitting subject, something that really has been eating me alive for a long time, and I'm glad I finally got to articulate it. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your opinions and your feedback in the comments below. And that's it. So have a good night, guys. Bye.